Welcome back to the channel. It's our second day here in Kuala Lumpur. I'm in the business lounge on the 36th floor of the accommodation where we've booked a little studio apartment, and I thought I'd give you a little rundown on exactly what's been going on so far. So after arriving and getting over that kind of initial day of checking into the hotel, we had a night's sleep, which I'm definitely not managing to tackle the jet lag just yet, but I'm sure it will wear off in the next couple of days. It will take a little bit to get settled in. I said in the last video it was a 7-hour difference, but it's actually 8 hours here versus the UK time. So I was awake pretty late into the morning before I eventually managed to get a couple of hours sleep. And then Yvonne and I, we got up and we had a little walk at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon to a little coffee shop that's fairly close by the accommodation that we're in. And in future videos I'll share with you what the room looks like, what the hotel looks like, what the facilities are. So all of that will come in another vlog. For now, just giving you a little kind of update exactly what's been happening here and kind of what we found. So nearby there's a little place called Lightroom, which I think there's a couple of them across the city, and I'll cut the footage in over the top of this, but great little coffee spot. Both Yvonne and I were just really craving a super nice iced coffee. And thank you again, DJ Roser, who sent me the Ko-Fi tip. And we used that tip that you sent us to go and get the coffee. So we had it headed over to Lightroom, and I wanted to say thanks to Retire and Go channel, which I've been following for a little bit here on YouTube, who had also recommended that spot as a great little place to just go and get a nice kind of morning or afternoon coffee. So we did that. We were in there, and classic Yvonne and I, we go in, we get our seats, and straight away we decide we're going to have like a almond croissant, right? So we go on the app, and I'll show you on screen to order the almond croissant. And it comes out, right? They bring one out, and it's absolutely massive. It's like it's like bigger than my hand, right? And Yvonne's like, "Oh God, we should just have got one between us. Maybe this is just an extra large one, and we're supposed to share it because they brought out cutlery for both of us." But no, then came the second almond croissant, which had a little bit of yogurt on the side of it. It was delicious, but it was massive. So that kind of fed us for most of the day, to be honest. We had the coffee, iced coffee on the side. Now, if I go into any of these places, the first thing I do is, if I'm going to video a little bit in there, I check with a member of staff or a manager. So I asked the manager, is it okay if I film around here? And he was like, yeah, of course. Make sure you go upstairs, make sure you have a walk around and check the place out. It was like this proper old building, hollowed in the middle. You'll see this on the pictures on the video now. Hollowed in the middle, and just that kind of rustic old building look to it. So super cool. We had the croissant, we had the coffee, we had a little water on the side, and then after that, hey, how's it going? Sorry if I bother you with recording this video. That's okay. No, please. I'm just saying I'm talking out loud, so I'll sound like nuts. Thank you. Thanks. So yeah, we had the little coffee on the side, and the one cool thing about the place that we were in, the music selection, right? So talk about bringing it back to what this year's been like so far. The very last gig that we obviously went to, Oasis at Wembley Stadium, right? That was like a bookending it for Yvonne and I of all of these years of gigs, like 300 plus gigs together. And Yvonne and I's very first gig together was Oasis at Loch Lomond, followed by Cast. And then we go to Wembley together, and we see Oasis supported by Cast and Richard Ashcroft. And if you haven't seen the video details about that, I'll share a link to it if you want to hear a little bit more about that tale of going to that concert. But we're sitting in Morning Light yesterday, we're sitting in Lightroom coffee place yesterday, and on comes Oasis the second we walk in the door. So it just felt like, you know, when you just feel like the stars align, you know, when just like sometimes things are just meant to be. We sit down and on comes Oasis, right? And I'm just sitting there with Yvonne, and we're like chuckling away, having our coffee and just thinking, God, we've travelled like thousands of miles across the world, and here we are sitting in Kuala Lumpur, our very first day out, and it's Oasis. Now, of course, Oasis are like the hot topic right now, so they're going to be played in places, but just to hear that is the very first location that we walk into just kind of felt right. Now, on that topic of the music selection, right, being an ex-DJ and a record collector and a music fanatic, there was a track that came on there, right, which is by a band called Silver Sun Pickups. This is one of these bands where you just hear one song from somebody and it's just stuck with me forever. So Silver Sun Pickups, and the track's called Lazy Eye, and I'll put a link to it if you want to go check it out, right? It's like a kind of, I don't know, like mid-90s or late 90s kind of indie song from America. And there's a line in it, right, that just sticks with me every time I hear it. And that line is, I've been waiting for this moment all my life, but something's not quite right. I don't know why that sticks with me, but it's just, it seems kind of poetic, right? Because, you know, if you think about this year and what I've shared with you here, it feels like I've waited my whole life to kind of get to this point, and I've shared the visions of how I thought about exiting the house and Yvonne and I doing all of that. And I didn't talk about this before, but I had kind of in my mind about just the first kind of content here being in a swimming pool, and I love a pool. I love a swimming pool. There's just something about being in the heat and being able to drop into a nice cool pool and chill your body off a little bit that I find so kind of therapeutic. So, you know, in all of that, listening to two great tracks, an Oasis track and then Silver Sun Pickups, whilst we were sitting in that cup of coffee yesterday, I was like, I've got to share this on the vlog, right? I know this is super niche for people, right? You maybe here thinking like, tell us about your redundancy or tell us about your money. I'll get to all of that. I really will cover more of that. And I know people also want to know a little bit more about what's happening with Yvonne and her job, and I'll give you an update on all of that. But I'm trying to just pace myself into this. We're so far away from home and we're just relaxing into enjoying the city and what the facilities have got here in the hotel, like apartment block that we're basically staying in. Feels like a hotel, the apartment block thing that we're staying in, and the time difference and then everything else. It's like, it's pretty overwhelming at times, but at the same time, just like, it took so much to get here, and now I'm just like, you know, sitting in bed last night with Yvonne, looking out over the skyline, which you can see here, and at about 11 o'clock, the two of us were like, let's go for a swim. And we went up to the 37th floor, right above where I'm sitting right now, and we jumped in the pool, and we had a nice swim about, and I'll cut that in here. We jumped in that pool, we had a swim around, we had a look out over the skyline, and it was like, wow, like we're here. This was the plan. We wanted to get out of the UK. We wanted to escape that redundancy and escape, you know, move away from what's felt like a year and a half of grief of the process with my dad's stuff, and just wash life away. And at 11 o'clock at night, swimming about on a pool roof in the 30-degree temperature felt like, yeah, this is what we needed. And you know what we had for dinner? A cup of chicken noodles, like a pot noodle. We are not afraid to live like students. We've came here to live cheaply, but to have fun and to have an adventure, and we'll spend when we need to spend, and we'll save when we need to save. It's really just about making money last as long as possible, and I'll go into as much detail as I can about prices of things and what we buy and the rent of the accommodation and everything else. I really will cover all of that, but I'm just finding my feet right now, and I kind of feel like I'm in cloud 9. Is that right? Am I saying that right? Yvonne's in the room right now because we're waiting on some things getting delivered there that we needed. just some fresh towels and some bits and bobs in the apartment because it's kind of serviced place, so that's why she's not sitting here with me just now. I've scooted out to record this and then lay over the footage over the top of it so I can bring you up to speed, because I'm trying to kind of make something every day as best as I can, maybe with the odd day off here and there. So that's kind of my goal. And beyond that, like, I'm kind of making this up as we go along. And that's what an adventure should be, right? You have a rough outlining of a plan. And we had that plan in our head this year, which was sell everything, get as much money as possible. And I'll get, again, I don't want to keep going over old ground, but I'll share how I've kind of saved money up and where I've put money to earn from it. And then again, I've just been paid by YouTube in the last day, so I'll share with you what my latest earnings were in another video coming up. But yeah, and I'll tell you one other thing, right? I've lost a couple of things so far on the way here. I lost a hoodie, a black hoodie that I'd bought from Costco about a year ago. And you know, of selling the records and selling all of our possessions and then leaving the house and cars and everything, I haven't missed any of it. I haven't even thought about any of it. But I lost that hoodie on the first flight, the first Emirates flights to Dubai, and I didn't notice until the end of the trip in Dubai. And I was like, oh, my hoodie. Now, it's roasting here, I don't need a hoodie. Yvonne's got like 4 jackets with her. She's trying to figure out what to do with them. I'm whispering, right, because when she sees this, she'll be annoyed that I've told you. But she's got 4 jackets with her. She's got a denim jacket, and she's got like 2 hoodies and then another jacket. It's constantly hot. It's nice hot. Been out for a walk this evening, it's lovely. We'll show you that in tomorrow's video. But she's got 4 jackets with her. We're trying to downscale even more what we actually need, because we've brought too much. Even though we've got a bag each, we've still brought too much. But I was a bit miffed about that hoodie. I don't know why. It's funny because it's such an pointless object. And then we left a towel, like a travel towel. We've both got travel towels in case you like go to the pool and they've not got anything. And I've left one of them in my pal's house in Dubai. And both of those feel more important than all the stuff that I've left at home, because I said in other videos, that's just stuff. It means nothing. And neither does that hoodie or that towel. But we're quickly downsizing through no actual planning so far. All right, couple of last little bits, right? 3 new members on the YouTube membership page that I want to say thanks to. Del Paddy, thank you so much, Del, for joining, for signing up. Ian McNaughton, now let me tell you, Ian McNaughton is a guy that I went clubbing with, I knew, and when I was a DJ, he used to come and support me. He lived in Hamilton, or Blantyre area, and used to go to school with Yvonne's sister, and came to see me when I was DJing in Glasgow and stuff, like decades ago. We became friends and got to know each other over the years, and now he's married and he's got kids and he stays in contact with me, and he signed up. And you know, one story that I always remember about Ian, one of those mates that would go above and beyond for you. I was DJing in London at a club called Turnmills, and I was down there playing like on a Friday night, and Ian wanted to come, and he didn't have a lot of cash, and he got on one of those buses from Glasgow that's like takes you the whole way, the magic bus or whatever you call it. And he got a bus from Glasgow to London, came to the gig that I was playing at, was in the club the whole night, and then the next morning, as the club was closing, like 7 AM finish, I went back to my hotel, and Ian got on a bus and went back to Glasgow just to come and support me. I mean, if that's not a mate for you, right? So Ian's signed up to my membership page, so thank you so much, Ian McNaughton. And lastly, Deborah Williams, who's been following this channel since the beginning. So thank you, Deborah, thank you, Del, and thank you, Ian, for signing up. If you're interested, there's a join button down here somewhere, and what you get out of that is you get priority responses to your comments, and you get emotes, and you get little icons, and I've posted a couple of extra videos in there that are for members only. But the main part is you're just supporting this channel. YouTube takes 45% of all of the revenue that you earn on this channel, and I post all of my earnings to let you see. And so by having just people that are also members or sending a Ko-Fi tip, I'm just blown away by that. I find it amazing that people love this content, that watch it, watch it all the way through, which helps me earn some cash from it. And for those that are supporting the channel and want to send a little bit extra, that's awesome. But there is no obligation to do that. I just want to be clear. I'm just immensely grateful, folks. So thank you. All right, well, let me spin this round and I'll show you the business suite. This is where I fell asleep the other day when we first arrived in here. Look at this. I'll give you a little tour. So there's a little bar area here. So people come in here and they have their meetings in here and they take their business calls in here. You just got a little area, little table, and you can see outside. It's pretty dark. I don't know if you'll be able to see out there, but I'll show you proper footage from the top floor where we were in the pool the other day. And across the other side here is a little sports lounge area where you can play pool and play foosball and all that kind of stuff. And this is all part of just the facilities here in the hotel that we're part of. So hopefully you can see in there, there's the foosball table. I won't bother going in, but there's a little monitor and stuff where they show some sports and things like that. And then that's pretty much it. So that is today's vlog, everybody. Thank you so much again. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Have a great weekend when it comes along.